Although the train was more comfortable than I expected, it cannot compare to a real bed. As I snuggle into the blankets, I soon drift into a restful slumber. Zack and I awaken at dawn and silently go about preparing for the day. As I grab a few items off my bed, I look over at Zack, who's fiddling with his gun. That guy sure gives his discharger a lot of attention. I mean, if it's anything like a firearm like we would use, then it would need, maintenance. Make sure that it's clean and everything like that. Everything's still working properly. Nothing's gunking at the barrel. Or messing with the firing mechanism. Morning. He glances up and nods.
I'm heading down. Meet me there when you're ready.
Okay. Sure. Zack shoulders his pack and leaves. This is probably the quietest morning I've had so far. It's a little strange. I pack up the last of my things and follow Zack downstairs, where I find him waiting alone. Where are Leon and Amelia? He shrugs.
Still getting ready, I guess.
Oh, good. Okay. That's unusual. Leon's generally the first one up. We wait a couple more minutes before the girls finally show up, carrying the Pongo with them. Amelia smiles widely at the Pongo, who grins back. Those two seem to be in a good mood. Leon, on the other hand, looks exhausted. What were they doing last night? Let's just say good morning. Good morning. Leona smiles.
Morning. Poi!
Uh-huh. The Pongo wobbles in Amelia's arms as she nods her greeting.
We should move on so we don't lose any daylight.
Zack looks over at Amelia, who rummages through her bag. Eventually, she pulls out a map. I glance at the carefully detailed mountains and rivers. Suddenly, I'm missing my GPS. Yeah, the comforts of home, right? Of technology and all that.
We will proceed eastward through the forest adjacent to Bazada. From there, we will travel northbound towards the Sonoa Mountains.
Her fingers scroll across the different locations.
Assuming there are no divergences in the course, we should arrive in Ember Mist by midday. Any inquiries?
Amelia folds the map and glances at the rest of us. We all look at each other.
Then let us begin our journey.
Sounds good. She leads the way out of the inn through the streets of Bazada. Even this early in the morning, the marketplace is still bustling with people. Carefully traversing the streets and alleys, the crowd begins to thin as it reaches the city borders. Amelia consults her map, then continues out of the city. At the high cover of the stalls, I blink at the clear blue sky. In the distance, I can see the dark, leafy cover of trees. That must be where we're going. Once we reach the forest, I'm surprised by how much shade the leaves provide. The branches are strong and the leaves are thick, exposing pockets of sunshine. Amelia keeps the map on hand as there are no trails. Aside from a few other stragglers exploring the woods, I can hear the scurry of woodland animals. With so much cover and so few people, this would be the perfect opportunity for a bandit ambush. I look towards Zack and Liana, who both seem unconcerned. I suppose it wouldn't make sense for bandits to hang out in a forest which is mostly devoid of people. We aren't carrying any cargo either, so there's even less of a reason to attack us. Depends on how desperate they are, or how low their standards are. Any little bit of coin or whatever they can get off, a mark to sell. Armor, weapons, this sort of thing. The deeper we travel into the woods, the thicker the canopy of leaves become, nearly blocking out all the sunlight. All the other people are long gone, even the rustle of branches have become quiet. The Pongo nestles even deeper into Amelia's arms. Leona shivers and wraps her arms around herself in a hug. You okay? She seems startled and drops her arms, trying to act normal.
I'm fine.
Be persistent or just... I know exactly what I'm fine means in Earth English. Where I come from, when a girl uses those two words together, it means she's not fine. Leona blinks and lets out a small laugh.
It's nothing, really. It's just that the woods are getting darker and darker, and there's a lot more shadows.
Ah. Are you afraid of the dark? Leona shakes her head.
Nothing like that. But really, you don't have to be concerned. It's nothing.
Okay. I'm still not convinced, but I'll trust her. Okay. The forest continues to block out even more light. soon to become so dark we can barely even see what's in
Are
front of
you
us.
sure we're going the right way?
Amelia pulls out a torch from her bag in response. She touches her finger as the tip of the torch and her bracelet glows. The torch erupts into flames.
Indeed, there is no need for alarm. The darkness merely indicates we're about to enter the Forest of Sorrows.
Yeah, what happened to the trees? All the green, and now there's all the dead and the empty branches and... What?
Forest of Sorrows?
Explanation for the Outworlder? I'm surprised by Liana's outburst. Her face is deathly pale.
Do we have to go through here? There must be an alternate route.
Amelia shakes her head.
Ember Mist can only be accessed through these woods.
Liana groans.
I had a feeling you'd say that.
So, this is what was bothering her. What's up with the Forest of Sorrows? I mean, it sounds spooky enough, but is it really that bad? I mean, no, not like it has a foreboding name or anything that hints at dread or some kind of past trauma or something. Yeah, not at all.
It is rumored that those who venture into the Forest of Sorrows never come out.
Oh, well, okay, so it's one of those places. They never come out. She nods.
The reason people are unable to escape is because they hear the voices of the loved ones they have lost. They fruitlessly search for their loved ones, losing their way, chasing the wailing of the spectrals.
No! Amelia, stop!
Okay, what?
We can travel through this stupid place if we have to, but no more of this story stuff that isn't true and can't be true, so it's not true.
That's a very heated response. Although Liana tries to put on a brave front, her voice grows shriller the longer she talks. Right. Amelia nods.
Then let us continue.
Yeah. Ooh, yay. I turn to Zach. Do you think all that stuff with the Forest of Sorrows is possible?
It doesn't matter if I think it's possible, because it's the truth.
Oh, well, good. I'm glad.
Zach! Stop!
As Liana turns away, Zach cracks a fleeting smile before resuming his stony stare. What? But why? Okay. The trees have now lost their cozy feel completely and look thick, old, and withered. Oh, look, there's even grimy-looking water. The eerie silence is deafening, and each crunch of leaves beneath our feet remind us of the irony of the inevitability of death and decay. Memento mori. I keep seeing flashes of beady eyes peering amid the branches. The squawk of crows pierce into silence, making me jump. Instinctively, I pick up the pace, as does everyone else. Liana grows increasingly agitated.
Are you sure we're going the right way? I swear that I've seen that.
Oh. A cold gust of wind extinguishes the torch. Uh-oh. Liana latches onto my arm and pulls it close to her chest. Her eyes are squeezed shut and she buries her face against me. The light returns and Amelia relights the torch. Liana peeps an eye open and glances down on my arm. And where it rests on her chest. Her cheeks burn as hot as the torch and she quickly drops my arm.
Sorry,
She trails off as her blush deepens. I bet her nerves from the force and the awkwardness of grabbing me is making her flustered. She might be more comfortable holding on to me, but that's an equally awkward suggestion. Ask if she wants to grab my arm? You know? Ask? You can hold on if you want. I just noticed the eyes. Liana seems almost grateful for the offer, but then notices Zach and Amelia.
No, it's okay. The light going out just caught me off guard.
Alright. Are you sure? She nods. Okay. Zach waits impatiently a few paces ahead of us.
Can we move on?
Shut it.
Affirmative.
We all hurry to catch up with Zach and continue through the forest. No wonder people get lost. This place feels like it's endless. Gradually, the darkness fades away as the trees are illuminated by an ethereal glow, only for the darkness to grow in my own vision. Okay. And as the blue and green light chases away the shadows, my mood begins to lift. Ooh! The trees still look ancient, but full of wisdom and secrets instead of bad omens. The pongo squirms wildly in Amelia's arms. He wriggles free and hops around in glee. As he hops, he opens his mouth wide, but loses his balance and blinks as he falls on his head. He is ahead. After a few more confused seconds, he shakes himself and tries again. Must be a lot of magic in here.
We have made it through the Forest of Sorrows.
Into what now? Liana sighs from relief.
Finally.
So Ember Mist is close.
The natural concentration of crystal energy would indicate we are on the correct path.
Okay. The crystals must be where the blue and green glow is from.
What do you mean, on the correct path? Haven't you traveled here before?
Kind of reminds you a little bit of inscriptions of Macalania. Amelia shakes her head.
No, this is my first journey.
You mean you had us travel through the Forest of Sorrows without knowing for sure that it would lead us to Ember Mist?
That is correct.
Well, she's honest at least. Liana gapes at Amelia.
Well, we did make it through. And if we do reach Ember Mist, then she would have delivered on her promise.
Yeah. Zack nods at Amelia, who looks curiously at him. While deep in thought, it looks like she's reworking a previous analysis of him. Then she nods back. Liana opens her mouth to argue, but stops.
I suppose it doesn't matter now that we're almost there.
Yeah, we've come this far.
On that conclusion, let us continue.
Lead the way, Twin Tails. As we trail behind Amelia, the pongo blissfully hopping along as she navigates us out of the rest of the forest. Ember Mist lies just beyond the edge of the forest, and soon we approach the heavy gate to the city. Huh. Two tanned men with leather armor and carved wooden staves inlaid with rough crystals stand guard. Their staves are crossed, and the light seems to shimmer as it catches the negative space between the staves. Is that some kind of magic? What do you...
Please state your business.
As students from the Mage Academy, we seek an audience with Elder Isim.
They look us over, and I shift uncomfortably under their gaze. Their blank eyes seem to burrow deep into my soul. Also, I really like the design of this place. Very, well, quaint. It's nice. Colorful, too. They close their eyes, and the red crystals inlaid in their staves glow. The translucent glimmers increase. After a few minutes, they reopen their eyes and remain silent. I glance at Liana, who looks back at me. I whisper, "Are they going to let us in?" She shakes her head uncertainly. Zack crosses his arms, but otherwise doesn't seem bothered by the situation. Amelia stands confidently and waits patiently. I guess things are going according to her plan? Just when I can no longer bear the silence, a figure steps out from behind the gates. He's an old squirrely man with a set of glasses which slips down his hooked nose. He wears a faded and wrinkled open robe.
Elder Isim.
Yes? Who is it?
My, that is a massive bundle of facial hair you've got snuggled up under your nose.
I am Amelia Estelle from the Mage Academy, and these are my associates.
The Mage Academy, you say?
He adjusts the glasses on his nose and peers at Amelia.
Yes. Yes.
One by one, he peers at the rest of us. He barely glances at Zack, but looks at Liana with interest when he recognizes her guild emblem. Finally, his gaze lingers on me, almost as if he's trying to place me, but can't.
Well, come on in then. No point in standing around.
Ooh. The guards break away as he beckons us in, and the translucent shimmer disappears. Shimmers disappear. After we pass through the gates, I look back right before the gates close and see the guards resume their original position. Elder Isom shovels along the dirt path that leads us to the quaint village. The villagers tend to wear plain, loose-fitting tunics. Aside from the guards, most people didn't carry weapons, although many of them do wear simple bracelets embedded with crystals. While some of those could potentially have defensive or offensive applications, it's possible they could have plenty of other, mundane uses. I'm not going to go off on a list. I'm just going to continue. We soon arrive at a strangely architecturally stable clay hut. As we enter, I covertly touch the walls. Ooh! This is nice. This is very nice. I like this. It reminds me of unglazed ceramic tiles. We settle down on wide cushions on the floor.
How were you able to find this place?
Through you.
Eh?
Amelia pulls out a worn tome. Where's she been keeping it this whole time?
My old research. I thought I'd lost this.
As Elder Isom carefully turns the pages of the tome, Liana clears her throat.
We were told you can help us.
By whom?
Professor Xavier.
Yes. Elder Isom lets out a loud laugh.
Xavier is a professor now. Good for him. I've been out of touch with Haven Guard and Lumia for many years. I'm not sure how I can help.
Well, Liana fills them in all that's happened so far, beginning with the spiked energy readings and ending with Professor Xavier's advice. She keeps the story simple and straight to the point, carefully eliminating the fact that I am not from this world. Elder Isom listens thoughtfully, but grows more excited the longer Liana talks.
The temporal rifts. It's been so long since I really researched them. I'm afraid I've been rather distracted. Still, someone is here hoping to discuss these theories, and I'm more than happy to talk about them.
He claps his hands excitedly.
Where should we start?
Uh-oh. As I'm about to answer, a deep rumble beneath the earth stops me. What was that?
Oh, just the volcano. Nothing to worry about.
I didn't do it! I just grab. I'm just gonna grab Liana. We're leaving. No! I don't think they even really understood the danger they were in, the Pompeii. From accounts, it really doesn't sound like anyone knew what was about to happen or it could potentially have happened. Rip us. But if he doesn't seem concerned about it, then I'll just... Okay. Elder Isom's demeanor remains relaxed. If something bad were to happen, he wouldn't be acting this way, right? I'm guessing there's something to do with magic, maybe. I exchange glances with the rest of the group. Liana looks perturbed, while Amelia and Zack both stand alert. At least I'm not the only one who's uneasy.
There's no need to look so concerned. The volcano will not erupt. This is the first sign of activity it has shown in thousands of years.
Isn't that concerning?
Perhaps if it were any other volcano, but this particular volcano is in the domain of the fire elemental who protects us all.
What happens if the elemental gets upset?
This fire elemental of which you speak, are you referencing the ancients?
The who now?
Precisely.
Excuse me. Zack crosses his arms.
The ancients are only a story.
Oh, so you believe the thing about the whole Forest of Sorrows, but whoever these ancients are, nah. Who are the ancients?
They are the elements of Asaria. The magic which we have learned to manipulate are the gifts left behind from the ancients.
That's how the legend goes.
You are mistaken. They are not a legend.
Liana looks uncertain while Zack scowls.
You still believe in those stories?
I believe in the research, and Elder Isom has accumulated plenty of it.
Now it's Isom, not Isom, is it?
Then where have the elementals been all this time?
All around us. Every blade of grass, every gust of wind, every speck of dirt, every tree, every seed, every drop of water, the sky itself, the lightning, the storms, fire, every ember from a crackling flame, all of that is God. Or something like that. I don't know. We'll return to our focus to the Elder.
I suppose I do have a few theories on that as well. But the elements are a lot trickier than temporal rifts.
What?
The story of the ancients is so old it predates our understanding of crystals and spheres. That's why most societies have forgotten about them and brushed them off as a legend. The people in this village, though, have not forgotten. When I arrived, I was purely focused on finding the fire temple for research purposes. But the longer I stayed, the more my focus strayed from the temporal rifts to the ancients themselves. If you believe that the cause of those random energy spikes are the result of temporal rifts, perhaps that is the link to the return of the elementals to Asaria.
So, what does that mean exactly? He shakes his head.
It's hard to say. We don't know why they left in the first place. My guess is that something was keeping them occupied in the spirit world. Perhaps whatever that is was set free by the rifts.
Uh-huh. Amelia hangs on to Elder Isom's every word. Liana absentmindedly fiddles with her manipulator deep in thought. Only Zack seems skeptical of this conversation. This sounds really complicated and not something that can be solved in a few hours. We need to get back on track. How do I get home? to get back to the original topic at hand, Elder Isom nods.
Ah, the temporal rifts, yes.
How would one go about creating a rift?
Well, that'll be difficult. You'll need an incredible amount of energy, more than any one human can create. The only places with that much concentration of energy is in the temples of the elementals.
You said there was one in this village.
Yes, the fire temple is here in Ember Mist.
Great. My body grows warm as hope floods through my veins. This is good. I finally have a way home.
To be more precise, it's on the outskirts of the village, built on the side of the volcano, but it's not a far walk.
Then that's where we need to go.
Liana pushes herself to her feet, and the rest of us do the same. As Elder Isom rises, his face falls.
Leaving so soon? I was hoping we'd have a longer chance to chat. I have so many questions about Illumia and the Academy. As you can imagine, one does not get a lot of news of the outside world here.
Perhaps upon a return.
Yes, of course. Well, you best be on your way then.
Elder Isom, it was truly an honor to meet you.
Amelia's cheeks flush as Elder Isom grins. She must really respect him. In that moment, I realized just how small and dainty she looks. Sometimes I forget how young she is compared to the rest of us. We all say our goodbyes and then exit the hut. Once outside, we scan the horizon, trying to orient ourselves toward the volcano.
Excuse me.
Oh, named character. Hi. I whirl around and come face to face with a woman wearing just enough fabric to cover her essentials and nothing more.